Welcome to today's video. I want you to forget about turmeric for a moment because there is one specific food that eliminates inflammation much faster. Are you sprinkling turmeric on your food every single day, fully convinced that the curcumin inside is going to magically extinguish the fires of chronic inflammation, yet you're still feeling sluggish, achy, or dealing with stubborn weight that simply refuses to move? You know what keeps me awake at night? It's the realization that millions of people are walking around right now with a silent fire burning inside their bodies, and they have absolutely no clue it's there. If you have been feeling exhausted without a clear reason, waking up with stiff joints, battling brain fog that won't lift, or noticing that your belly won't get flat no matter what you try, your body is actually screaming at you. And the solution isn't turmeric. It isn't some overpriced supplement promising miracles. It comes down to one simple food that researchers at the University of Delaware in central Lancaster have been studying for years, and the results are honestly mind blowing. I'm not here to sell you supplements or push products on you. I'm just here to break down peer reviewed research so you can make smarter health decisions. Today, I'm going to reveal why this one food might be the most potent natural anti inflammatory you've ever heard of and why most doctors won't even mention it. But first, let me explain what is really happening inside your body right now, because once you grasp this, everything else will make perfect sense. Here is what most people fail to realize. You can possess dangerous levels of inflammation and feel completely fine, at least for the time being. Your body is incredibly intelligent. It tries to protect you. However, when inflammation remains high for months or years, your body begins to break down from the inside out. Think of it like a small fire in your house. At first, it's just smoke, which you can ignore. But eventually, that fire spreads. And by the time you see the flames, the damage is already done. So let me show you exactly what is happening and, more importantly, how to stop it. Here is the uncomfortable truth that researchers at the National Institutes of Health want you to understand. Chronic inflammation is the driving force behind almost every major disease we fear: heart disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's, arthritis, and even cancer. According to a comprehensive review published in Stat Pearls by the National Center for Biotechnology Information, chronic inflammatory diseases are now recognized as the most significant cause of death globally. The World Health Organization ranks chronic diseases driven by inflammation as the greatest threat to human health. Furthermore, a landmark study published in Nature Medicine confirms that systemic chronic inflammation leads to diseases that collectively represent the leading causes of disability and mortality worldwide, including cardiovascular disease, cancer, diabetes mellitus, chronic kidney disease, and neurodegenerative disorders. Let me put this into perspective for you. Researchers estimate that inflammation is involved in at least 8 of the top 10 leading causes of death in the United States. That isn't a guess. That is data derived from thousands of peer reviewed studies. Now, if you are over 40, if you sit for long hours at work, or if you've been under a significant amount of stress lately, this message is specifically for you because your body is more vulnerable to inflammation than you think. The scary part is that most doctors won't test for it unless you specifically ask. They will check your cholesterol and blood sugar, but they won't check your inflammatory markers unless something is already seriously wrong. But here is the good news: there is a food that can help reverse this naturally, safely, and faster than most anti inflammatory drugs. It isn't turmeric and it isn't ginger. It is something even more powerful, backed by research from major universities and published in top medical journals. But before I reveal it, let me show you the 5 warning signs that your body is inflamed right now. Sign number 5 is the one most people ignore until it is too late. Sign number 1: you are always tired even after sleeping. If you get 7 or 8 hours of sleep and still wake up exhausted, that isn't normal. Chronic inflammation disrupts your mitochondria, the tiny power plants inside your cells. Think of them like batteries. When inflammation is high, those batteries can't charge properly, so you feel drained regardless of how much rest you get. This fatigue isn't laziness, it is your body's energy system under attack. Sign number 2: joint pain or stiffness in the morning. If you notice your knees, hips, or fingers feeling stiff when you wake up, that is inflammation building up in your joints overnight. It is your body's way of saying something is wrong, and ignoring it will only make it worse. Sign number 3: brain fog or memory problems. Inflammation affects your brain too. Research published in medical journals shows that people with high inflammation markers score lower on memory tests and have a higher risk of dementia later in life. If you are forgetting names or feeling mentally cloudy, inflammation could be the culprit. Sign number 4, belly fat that won't go away. Fat cells produce inflammation, especially belly fat. If you eat clean and exercise but can't lose that stubborn belly, your body might be stuck in an inflammatory loop. Sign number 5, gum disease or bleeding when you brush. People ignore this, but the American Heart Association links gum inflammation directly to heart disease. All right, here it is. The food is tart cherry, specifically Montmorency tart cherries. I know you're thinking, cherries? Really? Yes, but not just any cherry. The research behind tart cherries is incredible. Researchers at the University of Pennsylvania School of Medicine conducted a randomized, double blind crossover study published in Osteoarthritis and Cartilage. They gave patients with knee osteoarthritis tart cherry juice for 6 weeks. The results showed that WOMAC scores decreased significantly. Even more impressive, the study found that tart cherry juice lowered high sensitivity C reactive protein, HSCRP, a key blood marker doctors use to measure inflammation. The decline in CRP was directly associated with improvements in pain scores. But it gets more interesting. A study in current developments in nutrition examined 66 adults with knee osteoarthritis who consumed 16 ounces of tart cherry juice daily for 4 months. The findings showed improvements in mobility, pain relief, quality of life, and cartilage health markers. In a groundbreaking 2025 study in the journal Life, researchers from the universities of Hertfordshire and Central Lancashire found that consuming 130 ml of diluted Montmorency tart cherry juice twice a day for 6 weeks reduced gut inflammation markers in people with ulcerative colitis by 40%, with a 9% improvement in quality of life. Now, compare that to turmeric. Turmeric is great, but studies show it only works well with black pepper, and even then, absorption is only about 5%. So, what makes tart cherries so powerful? It comes down to anthocyanins. According to research in phytomedicine, tart cherries contain powerful antioxidants found in blueberries and red grapes, but with a key difference. Studies in the Journal of Natural Products show tart cherries have significantly higher concentrations of specific anthocyanins compared to other fruits. Research confirms they yield about 90% more of these compounds than raspberries and contain anthocyanins not found in bilberries or cranberries. These anthocyanins don't just reduce inflammation, they help repair damaged cells. A study in the Journal of the International Society of Sports Nutrition found that athletes consuming powdered Montmorency tart cherry supplements had significantly reduced markers of muscle catabolism and stress over a 48-hour recovery period compared to a placebo. Another trial with older adults showed that drinking 480 ml of tart cherry juice daily for 12 weeks significantly increased DNA repair activity and lowered CRP levels. Unlike turmeric, your body absorbs these compounds immediately, targeting inflammation within hours. Here is how to use them the right way. Option 1, tart cherry juice. The most convenient option is 100% pure tart cherry juice with no added sugar. Research suggests drinking about 8 ounces, 1 cup per day, preferably before bed. Why? Because tart cherries are a natural source of melatonin. A study in the European Journal of Nutrition found that it significantly increased melatonin levels and improved sleep quality. Option 2, frozen or dried. You can add frozen or dried tart cherries to smoothies or oatmeal. About 1 cup frozen or a quarter cup dried gives similar benefits. Just check the ingredients on dried cherries to ensure there is no added sugar. Option 3, tart cherry extract. If you travel, capsules are a good option. Look for a supplement with at least 500 milliliters of tart cherry extract per serving and no fillers. Who is this for? If you are over 40 and dealing with joint pain, this is for you. If you are an athlete struggling with muscle soreness, this is for you. Research confirms it helps maintain performance. If you have a family history of heart disease, diabetes, or Alzheimer's, or if you just want to prevent inflammation, this is for you. Healthy people over 60 don't wait for a diagnosis, they support their bodies before problems become serious. Let me be clear, this isn't a miracle cure. I'm not saying arthritis will vanish overnight, but peer-reviewed research shows tart cherries support your body's natural anti-inflammatory response. However, avoid cherry juice cocktails loaded with sugar and do not take this with blood thinners like warfarin without asking your doctor first. If you've made it this far, you now know that tart cherries are one of the most powerful anti-inflammatory foods on the planet. If this video helped you, type yes in the comments if you're going to try tart cherries this week. I read every comment. If you care about your health, hit the like button and subscribe because I break down this research every week. This food stabilizes insulin, supports the gut liver axis, and resets immune signaling. Incorporate it into your routine and observe how your body responds over the next week regarding energy and recovery. Your body is trying to tell you something. Are you listening? Inflammation doesn't happen overnight, and neither does healing, but every glass of juice is a step toward a stronger you. You have the knowledge. The next step is yours. Stay healthy.